Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Kim and welcome back to Uncommonkim. So, I thought I would do a little sit down, chatty thing while I'm journaling, like video. And I've seen, so this is the tag, it's called the reading taste tag, which was created by, my name is Marnie's, and at Thoughts on Tones, which I will leave linked down below, but I saw it through Cassidy, from Covers with Cassidy, and we have 15 questions about kind of my reading tastes, things like that, and I thought I would answer these questions for you while I do my reading journal for Magical Readathon, because Magical Readathon is taking part again in September, and I need to start planning my journal ready to then plan my TBR. You see, so I thought we could do it, both of these things at the same time. So yeah, let's get into it. So, question number 1 is, how do you rate your books? A quick rundown of how you do star ratings, we don't use star ratings, how you evaluate your books. So, I have like a star rating tracker in my journal. So yeah, obviously like 1 to 5 stars. So 1 star being not good, very shit. 2 stars being a bit shit. 3 stars being quite good but not a fave. 4 is really good, highly recommend, and a 5 star is love it, new favourite. That's kind of the vibes I go off of. I can usually tell probably about 100 pages in where the vibe is going and kind of what I'm probably going to rate it. I'm really bad at DNFing, so I usually just kind of, I don't really give out anything less than a 3, and there's definitely a few more books out there that definitely deserve it, but instead I just kind of go, oh yeah, it was okay, because usually the ending kind of like grips me a little bit more, and then I just give it a 3. Question number 2 is, how do you approach reviewing books? What's your review style? Are you analytic, emotional, casual, or structured? Obviously I review books for you guys on here. That's mainly where I review things, and I'll be brutally honest. Like, if it made me cry, I'll show you me crying. If it was crap, I'll tell you it's crap. Like, I'm very open and casual with it. I will only ever review something on my Bookstagram that I genuinely enjoyed. If I didn't enjoy it, you probably won't hear about it on my Bookstagram, but you may hear about it on here. I'm just honest. I think there's no other way to be other than honest. If you're not honest, then like, what's the point? I'm not gonna say I like a book when I don't. You don't gain anything from lying, you know. Okay, question 3 is, what's the book that made you a reader? Whether it was your first book or the one that you got hooked. What book started it all? So it depends whereabouts you want to start it. If you start me as a kid, when I was younger, I will tell you 1000%. Jacqueline Wilson started me off as a reader, and like Roald Dahl, like kind of authors like that. But then through secondary school, I kind of didn't read anything until finished college. The book that then got me into reading, which a lot of you won't be surprised by, was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I read it in like January, March of 2020, something like that, and I was hooked, and I was hooked from there, and I haven't looked back. And you know, I read books now and again, but nothing that kind of then led me on this path I'm on now, where I read a certain amount of books a year, I do journals, I do booktube, I do Bookstagram. All started with A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is quite funny, really. Question number 4, do you have a genre niche? Are there certain genres you gravitate towards, or do you read widely across genres? That's a difficult question. I'd say I read widely, apart from historical, non-fiction, and sci-fi. Apart from those 3 genres, I'll probably read it. Sci-fi is very, very, very hit or miss with me. Some of it I've liked in the past, like I loved the Illuminae files, but other than that, nah, I'm good. Historical, unless it's about murder, nah, I'm good. And non-fiction I want to be interested in and I want to get into, but I just get really bored. Is that bad to say? I've bought a couple of like non-fiction true crime stories and I'm hoping that might be my jam, but I just haven't got around to reading any yet, but I'm hoping that's gonna be like my starting point with non-fiction, because other than that I ain't interested. But other than that, I'll read anything. I go through like phases throughout the year. So currently I'm in the middle of my horror, thriller, mystery phase, going into fantasy phase. And romance, I kind of usually have a phase for in February and then droplets throughout the year. But that's kind of it. But I will read it like now and again. Fantasy is always a March thing because of Ramadan, and then I kind of just casually read it. But then yeah, usually I just kind of have phases of what genres I'm in throughout the year, which is fun. Question number 5, do you generally prefer character driven or plot driven stories? Character driven every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day, no matter when, no matter where, no matter how. Character driven. The plot can be shite, but you give me 2 characters I love, good enough for me. I'm trying to think of like examples. I know a lot of people don't like Shadowhunters series, but they are so character driven that I will basically love anything Cassandra Clare does, and everything she ever does is kind of character driven. So for that sense, bring it on, bitch, bring it on. Like, the plot can be crap, and don't get me wrong, I've given a few of Cassandra Clare's books low ratings because I'm just kind of like, what the fuck's going on? But the characters always pull it through for me, and I think no matter how badly a plot could be, you write me 2 good characters and I'm there. I think that's nice and simple. Question number 6. What's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? What's the one book you love enough for everyone? Malice by John Gwynne. Like, people can shit on it, people can say world building and that it's long and that you have to, a lot of it doesn't make, like, not that it doesn't make sense, but like they lose track of all the characters and the story is very gappy to begin with. But the love I have for Malice and the whole of the Faithful and the Fallen series and the characters is second to none. I could love that series for everyone, honestly. That and the reappearance of Rachel Price, because Belle my angel, love her. Again, I can love her for everyone, doesn't bother me. She is an absolute freaking angel. Question number 7. What's a book you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? Oh, that is such a good question. I have two, because it depends on the vibes. One is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, because if you don't think that's a fucking masterpiece, we ain't compatible. We're just not. And because like, as soon as I read it, I got a friend to read it. Hello, Megan and Monty. And I literally said to her, what is the reason this book shouldn't get 5 stars? What's bad about it that it can't have 5 stars? And she couldn't give me a reason, so then she gave it 5 stars, and I was like, there you go, there you go. So it's like, if you can honestly find something wrong with Not Quite Dead Yet, we ain't alike. We're not. And the other one is Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, because if you can't have the fun vibes and time of reading old English folk solving murder mysteries with British references, our tastes aren't aligned. Any way, shape or form. Because there's nothing you can't love about it, because it's just easy, cozy vibes. You don't need anything else. There's no other reason to say you don't like it, because whatever reason you have is a load of shit. Because it's just good vibes. That's all that book is good vibes. Okay, rant over. Because I'm getting too ranty. Question number 8 is, what's in your trash pocket? What books, tropes or themes that you know are bad but you love them anyway? Trash. Holiday romances. Holiday romances. 2 best friends go on holiday and then they fall in love. Yeah, as a fucking vibe. Or fake romance, like fake relationship. Absolute fucking trash, but I love it. I love fake dating. Fake dating is my shit. Question number 9. Do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that, if present, immediately turns you off from a book? Yes, rape. Rape of any form makes me extremely uncomfortable. And do you know what? Honestly, I have no idea why. Not been affected by it myself in any way, shape or form. So it is just a bit weird. And it doesn't really make sense why it makes me so extremely uncomfortable. But if a book has it, that's it. DNF. Disappear out of my life. The only book I've ever been able to read through with it in was a John Gwynne book, not going to say which, because it was like closed curtain. You didn't have to see nor experience it, but it did make me feel very uncomfortable and I did nearly DNF. A little fact for you. And the Night Swim, but I knew I was going to love the Night Swim, but I was very, very close to just jumping ship. But yeah, rape is a big no-no for me. And then also not as bad at the moment because life's going well, but sometimes old folk death is a bit of a trigger, because old folk dying in my life is a reoccurring factor and sometimes can trigger me, but that doesn't seem to be a massive trigger at the moment. But yeah, rape is a huge one for me. Question number 10. What's a strong opinion you have about a book release within the year, whether it's overrated, underrated, or just a take you need to share? I mean, not to mention it again, but Not Quite Dead Yet is fucking good and you should read it. So I'd say it's like underrated, because it's that good, you know. But to go away from just repeating myself about Holly Jackson forever, I'll tell you what is massively overrated, and the only reason I'm going to mention it is because the 3rd book has just come out, which is the undercutting of Rose and Adam, or Adam and Rose, or whatever, with the 1st book being the undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and book 2 being Undermining of Twyla and Frank. That series is extremely underrated. It is fantasy romance and you follow 2 different characters in each book and they fall in love, obviously, but it's this big fantasy world and it's so freaking good. I read the first 2 last year and loved them, and the 3rd one's just come out and I can't wait. And it is such an extremely underrated series. So underrated. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's extremely underrated. It's so good. I'm very, very excited to get around to the 3rd book. I think it is going to be a freaking vibe. I haven't got anything that's overrated because nothing's coming to mind, but another underrated one is anything by TJ Klune. I feel like TJ Klune isn't screamed about enough anymore. All I ever hear about nowadays is fantasy romance. And like contemporary romance, and it's just, I'm not here for it. TJ Klune is a very, very underrated author who I read their new release every year. I love his books, I love his writing, I love his characters, and I love his love for his characters. And yeah, I personally believe he's extremely underrated. Number 11. What do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Is it prose, style, themes, voice, structure? or something else. In writing, honestly, I love it when an author's just got a bit of sense of humour, when they're just, you know, they make their characters funny, and they make kind of this scenario funny. Django Wexler does it really well. Robert Jackson Bennett does it really well. I love it when they add humour into writings. That's something that I love and will ever, forever cherish. Sebastian de Castell does it amazingly. So I do love that. But honestly, well-written books don't massively affect me. In the sense of, like, if it's badly written, probably 9 times out of 10 I'm probably not going to notice. I don't know. There's certain things I have noticed that I avoid now, in the sense of dark academia in general, not my thing. Set in a school setting, not my thing. Competitions and trials, despise. Like, so if I go into Waterstones, for example, and I read a synopsis and there's a trial involved, I ain't picking it up. Or if I go into to Waterstones and there's, like, you know, like Olivia Blake, she loves a school setting. School setting's ain't for me, hun. I won't read it. So that's probably, like, themes I avoid, themes I look for. Epic fantasy, kind of, you know, royal families, some maybe like mystery elements brought into my fantasy. I've really found that I enjoy that. So I found that through, like, the Tainted Cup, that having a murder mystery inside an epic fantasy world is freaking sick and right up my street. So kind of things like that, yeah, chuck my way. But other than that, I wouldn't say there's anything else specifically that I would look for and go, yeah, I need that in my book. Nah, you know, just give me a good synopsis and a few characters to love and I'm probably there, to be perfectly honest. 12. How do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, follow external factors, hype, recommendations, arcs? I go with the flow a lot. I create TBRs every month, as you guys know. Every month I create a TBR using my TBR jar. 9 times out of 10 I don't strictly follow it because my life gets in the way. So I do kind of just go with the vibes, and also I kind of plan videos I want to do in my head. So then if books fit that, I just might bin my whole TBR off and do that instead. But then also it just, honestly, it just depends. It depends on if someone wants to do a buddy read. Like, I'll just drop everything for a buddy read. But then sometimes there's a book going around, like at the moment it's Dungeon Crawler Carl, that's, you know, floating about on the internet, and I'm going, I'm quite interested in that. So then I might just bomb over and read it and just, you know, go with the vibes. But it just, yeah, it depends. Sometimes I'm good and I stick to TBRs. It's usually when I have a readathon that I'm doing that I'll stick to my TBR. But if I don't have a readathon, then I just go with the vibes. Go with the vibe. Question number 13 is, where do you get inspiration for your booktube content? What sparks your video ideas, other creators, trends, personal reading experiences? Depends what it is. A couple of ideas and videos I have are from other booktubers doing certain things, or they might do something in a slightly different way to me, and then I just kind of go light bulb and then kind of write it down and think about it. I have a whole list on my phone full of video ideas. Nothing like that I desperately have to do that second, but something I'd like to do. Sometimes, honestly, I'm just driving in my car, showering, you know, common human things, and I just go light bulb and then I have to, you know, stop everything I'm doing because I have ADHD and write it down in and there, otherwise I'll forget 2 seconds later. So it kind of like comes in dribs and drabs. But yeah, I will say sometimes it does come from other booktubers. Obviously, always will shout them out if it's somebody else's idea. So like this being Cassidy's, but then also being created by other people, I will 100% tag them. I have quite a creative mind, so I think a lot of the time my videos just kind of spruce out of my brain hole somewhere. Okay, question 14. If you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? A book you think deserves more attention and why? Always John, because I love John. and I think more people have discovered John Gwynne over the past couple of years, but not enough people know about him and his books. So definitely John. Will always say Holly Jackson because I love every inch of that woman. Or actually, do you know what? Geneva Rose, who wrote Home is Where the Bodies Are. She is such a fun, quirky person. I've been watching a lot of her TikToks, and bless her, she's heavily pregnant. Well, she's just given birth. She's so funny. She just goes into Barnes and Nobles around America and like signs copies of her book and tries to do it in secret. I just think she's so fun, and I think she deserves the hype and the funniness. And I read Home is Where the Bodies Are and I loved it, and I've bought like all of her other books since then, and I really wanna just inhale all of her books. I think she's amazing. So I'd probably say Geneva Rose. I think she's top notch. And then the final question: who are some booktubers with reading taste similar to yours? Okay, booktubers similar taste to mine. Let's just like pot a load of names out and just see. So Steph from Steph Loves Foul Shao. Me and Steph have very similar tastes in genres, books, life in general. Similar tastes also to Claire from Claire's Creative Corner. Me and Claire have very similar tastes. We usually are at different genres at different times, but we usually love the similar books. For sure. Other booktubers: Meg from Meg with Books. My mystery thriller horror tastes and hers are very much the same, 1000%. Janie Ray reads, Oz, Queen, epic fantasy in general. I get all my recommendations from Jade because we are the same when it comes to those kinds of things. Also get a lot of manga, graphic novel-y, more manga recs from Jade as well. But then also Sid from Sid's Bookworm, because fantasy wise very similar tastes. We both have a big love for our king John Gwynne, and then also I'm getting a lot of like thrillery, horror-y recs from her recently, and I've gone, yeah, fine, love that. So I get a lot of similar vibes between me and Sid as well. But yeah, that is all 16 questions. I will leave the people who created this tag down below. I'll leave the questions down below, and I will tag all the booktubers I've mentioned as well if you want to go and check those out. This is how I've got with my journal. So I've added some washi, added some little like papery things, autumn equinox, noptious and all that shit. I'm gonna go through, add a few little quotes and titles and shit, and then I should be on the way and ready for Magical Readathon. So I look forward to seeing you guys soon for some more Magical Readathon content coming in September. Yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked this vibe of like me doing a tag and me doing journaling at the same time, let me know. If you want me to do it in a different way, give me hints, tips, maybes. Like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you soon.